for free. So why we can't give it all back? Easily, right? Surrender. That's what you need to learn how to do. And we're going to talk about surrender today. Okay, welcome in. If you guys are new here, my name is M. Simone. I am the Chief Educator and Liberator at the Great School of Life, a non-traditional education institution teaching God-centered manifestation using biblical principles and scientific formulas. I help students go from caterpillar to butterfly in 6 months, a full internal transformation so that you can live your dream life. I do these lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you are new here, everything that I'm going to talk about on this live can change your life if you allow it to. Okay, I do have 2 TikToks. I have the Great School of Life 111, and then I have msbinfluence. So if there is a question that's being asked that you didn't ask, it's not because I pulled it out of my ass. It's because somebody else on the other TikTok asked it, right? If you have questions, please put them in the chat. We are going to be together for an hour. In the next hour, I am literally going to break up the foundation of how you think life works, and I'm going to help you rebuild it the way that God intended. So ask questions. If there's anything that's unclear, please put it in the chat. We are going to go through a 7-step process that I created to help you guys create your heaven on earth called the Life Recipe. Okay. Outside of that, the intention of this live is for you guys to join thinking from the end. I don't want you to be confused about why I'm doing these lives. I'm doing these lives to sell you on the idea of yourself. Somebody sold me on the idea of me 5 years ago, and here I am creating the life of my dreams. So my job is to provide you a solution to your problem and sell it to you. Okay. If you have questions, put them in the chat. If you are at any point ready to enroll, ready to move forward, click the link in my bio, submit an application, book a call. This week, I think it's booked up. Next week is starting to get booked up, so make sure that you book a call. If you are interested in high ticket sales, this is a way for you to also get into high ticket sales. But please understand that at the Great School of Life, you must be a product of the product. We do not allow you to sell products that you do not have the actual experience with. Okay. Outside of that, everything you need is in my bio. This is going to be beautiful. We're going to be together for an hour. I'm going to answer all of the questions that you have, and I'm going to help you rebuild your life the way God intended it to be lived. All right, let's get into it. And I'm also very hungry. So, which has nothing to do with y'all. I just don't know. I don't know how long this is going to last. Hold on, babies. Hold on, y'all, because I know y'all be like, I can't see. Give me a second. Give me a moment, and I'll make sure you can see. Hold on. Okay. So boom, boom, boom. Everybody's good? Okay. So again, if you are new here, my name is M. Simone. I'm the Chief Educator and Liberator at the Great School of Life. The Great School of Life is a non-traditional education institution. We teach biblical principles. We teach God-centered manifestation using biblical principles and scientific formulas. Okay. I help my students go from caterpillar to butterfly in 6 months, go through a complete destruction of who you believe you are, rebuilding you into the image of God, and helping you live the heaven on earth that you were intended to live. Over the next hour, I am going to help you break up the foundation of how you think life works, and I'm going to help you rebuild it the way that God intended. As you guys know, right, you are living, or you may not know, right, but you're living in a house right now that has a shaky and rocky foundation. You know this because of the way that your life feels. It feels like you don't know what you're doing. It feels like you're trying everything and nothing's working. It feels like you're going against the grain. It feels like you're burnt out. It feels like you're in survival mode, right? Because the world has programmed us to believe that the world works like X, when in reality, it works like Y. And because you believed that it works like X, you've created a reality that is in contradiction to what God has called for your life. So I am going to break up that foundation today. It is going to feel like your life is falling apart, especially if you decide to join the Thinking from the End program and you decide to join us over the next 6 months. It is going to feel like your life is falling apart, and it is. Everything that you know to be true has to fall away, and it has to make space for the good that God has for you. Okay, so let's start with the basics. We live on 3 planes of understanding simultaneously. Okay, there are 3 planes that we live on, and there are also 3 pillars for permanent manifestation. That's not a coincidence. There are 3 pillars for permanent manifestation, and there are 3 planes of existence that we live on simultaneously. The plane that most of us are familiar with is the 3D plane, the 3rd dimensional plane. This is the physical world, what we can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. The world has programmed you to focus solely on what you can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And God told us in Romans 12:2 that that's not the way to do it. God said, don't be conformed to the world. Do not be conformed to what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, but to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So there's two other planes that you live on. The physical plane is the lowest level, but you also live on the spiritual plane and the mental plane. Okay? You are not your body. You are not a physical being. You are not a human being. You are a spiritual being, and you're having a human experience. You are the divine personified. You are the universe personified. You are God in a human vessel. You are not your body. You are the spirit that lives in the body. You are the divinity inside the body. You are the awareness of your body. You are not your body. You don't say, am head is hurting. You say, my head is hurting. You don't say, am leg is broke. You say, my leg is broke. Who is my? Who is possessing the leg? Okay. You are a spiritual being. Every single one of y'all is God in human form. You can use the word God, energy, spirit, power, universe, source, whatever word works for you. What I want you to understand is that you are not a human. You are a spiritual being, and you're having a human experience. You are experiencing life through the lens of a human, but that's not who you are. Who you are is the divine. When Jesus said that I and my Father are one, when God said I created you in my image, in the image of the Creator you were created, God was telling us, Jesus was telling us that we are one with the source of everything. And there is nothing we can do to be separate from the source other than believe in separation. And that's what the world has programmed us to do. The world has programmed us to believe that God is outside of us, that God is everywhere in the world. Because what did they tell us? That God is omnipresent. That means all present. God's omnipotent, all powerful, omniscient, all knowing. But God is not in me. How is that? How is God outside of me in everything else but me? Doesn't make any sense. And when you start to think about these things, when you start to question these things, right, you'll start to see that it's all BS. I named the course Thinking from the End for a reason. Because when you start thinking about things, it doesn't make sense. The board of the General Board of Education, right? The first entity, right, that directed education here in America was funded by John D. Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller was essentially, I think he was a billionaire back in the day. John D. Rockefeller said, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I don't want these kids to think, because when you start thinking, shit don't add up. And when it don't add up, you try to find, no. I don't need any thinkers. I want a nation of workers. I want these people to work. I don't need them thinking. My job is to get you out of that worker mentality and get you back into the thinker that you are. You are a creator. You are not a consumer. You're a creator who consumes. The reason that you're unfulfilled is because you ain't creating nothing. You're consuming so much. There's so much overconsumption of information, social media, food, all these things, and you ain't creating nothing. You are a creator. That's who you are. You are here to create. You are here to provide value to the marketplace with your life experience, with your literal existence. A lot of y'all talk about how you want to get paid to exist. You got to create something worth getting paid for. You're consuming so much. You're not creating anything. And that's why you're unfulfilled. It ain't because you ain't got no money. It ain't because that man left you. It ain't because you left your job. It's because God put you here to create. And you're not doing that. So there's nothing that you can do to fulfill that void other than create. Okay, so every single one of y'all is a spiritual being. You are the divine. You are God. Let that sit. I know it feels weird. I know it feels blasphemous. And it felt blasphemous for me when I first got into this study 5 years ago. I couldn't even say that back then. And then I got into the space of saying I am God in human form. And that felt a little bit better. And it wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago that I'm comfortable enough to say that I am God. I'm comfortable enough to say that because I know that doesn't take away from God's power. It doesn't take away from anything. It reminds me that the power of God is flowing to and through me right now at all times. It cannot stop. Okay? You are a spiritual being. You have an intellectual and an emotional mind, a conscious and a subconscious mind. Okay? So the mind or the mental plane is the filter between the physical reality you experience and your divinity. When God told us in Romans 12:2 to not be conformed to the world, but to be transformed by the renewing of our mind, it was because the mind is the piece that is the hindrance. The world has taken control of your mind, meaning they've taken control of what you believe, they've taken control of how you think, and they've taken control of how you feel. And because they have your beliefs, your thoughts, and your feelings, they have your consciousness. And your consciousness is 99% of your success. Hear me again. The world has taken control of the 99% of your success. I'll answer your question here in a second, love. Hold on. Let me go back through the comments. Make sure y'all didn't put nothing else in here. Hold on, y'all. Oh, shoot. We got comments. Okay, hold on. Because y'all know I be talking and I don't be looking in the comments. 1 second. 1 second, babies. 1 second. Okay, let me go back. Let me read the comments. 1 second. Hold on. Okay, so what we got? Okay, thank you for liking the live. I appreciate you, baby. Okay, hold on. I am God, son God. I like that. Hold on. I don't know why I blocked your comment and it won't even let me do it. This is so ghetto. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me just read the comments. 1 second. Who exactly is God? Okay, great question. Hold on. Hold on. Let me pin that comment and we're going to digress for a little bit and then we're going to come back. So let's talk about this comment. The question was, who exactly is God? Okay, so let's talk about it. A lot of you guys have been asking me this question lately and I love it. I love that your awareness is expanding and you want to understand. So let me give you a little background. Okay, let's flip this over. Okay, everybody can see this. Now, I want you guys to understand this, okay? And you may have to hear me say this multiple times before it actually resonates and sinks in. We are not, excuse me. God is not a larger version of humans. God is not a larger version of us. We are smaller versions of God, number one. God is not a physical being. God is not a man sitting in the sky on a throne, pointing, judging everybody. God is not a person, okay? God is awareness. God is presence. God is a formless substance. God is infinite, okay? So, like I said, let me see how much I can get out and get this clear to you guys. When you see this phrase in the Bible, I am that I am, right? I want you to understand what that means. Anytime you see the words I am, you can change I am to God is. Anytime you see I am, you can change it to God is. I am is the self-definition of God. Anytime you are using I am, you are using your God power to create something. I am is unconditioned awareness. That's actually what you are. You are the awareness of your body, the awareness of your thoughts, the awareness of your reality. You're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You're not your body. You are the awareness of it. You are the presence in the body. You are God. God is presence. Now, the way that I help my students distinguish this, because I do have students that they're not ready for, they want to gradually get into it. The way that I help you guys distinguish this, right, is that God is the creator of the entire universe. You are the creator of your entire universe. You and God co-create. Y'all work together to create your reality, okay? So God is the sun. You are the sunbeam. The sun and the sunbeam can be distinguished, yes, but they cannot be separated. You can distinguish yourself from God. You can distinguish yourself as a human being, yes, but there's no true separation between you and God. You cannot be separated from the source. There's nothing you can do to be separate from God. Nothing. Nothing at all. You will always be one with God. Always. Now, God is awareness. That's what God is. God is unconditioned awareness. Unconditioned presence. That means there's no conditioning on God. There's no limit to God. There's no boundary to God. God is limitless. God is infinite. God is ever present. God is all powerful. God is all knowing. It's a presence. It's a movement. It's an awareness. So this phrase, I am that I am, let's break it down. I am is unconditioned awareness. That means there's no conditioning on the awareness. You can put whatever word or whatever you want to put behind it. There's no conditioning. It's not conditioned yet. Whatever that you put behind I am is the conditioning that you're going to put on that power. For example, I am rich. I am is unconditioned. Now you have put the conditioning of wealth on the awareness. So what does that mean? That means that your reality is going to reflect back to you wealth because you are aware of wealth. On the flip side, I am broke. I am unconditioned. Broke is the conditioning you put on it. That's the awareness. So now your reality is going to reflect back to you broke, because that is the conditioning you put on God's power. God loves us unconditionally and God supports us unconditionally. That means that God doesn't argue with us. When we're bullying ourselves, when we got that negative self-talk, when we talk about how we ain't shit or we ain't got nothing or we ain't when we have this program that we got from our ancestors and our parents in the world, God doesn't argue with that program. God doesn't say, you are my child. God says yes. That's all God knows. God doesn't know any other word other than yes. So when you say I am broke, God says yes and shows you that in your reality. When you say I am sick, yes, and shows you that in your reality. That's why Jesus said, let the rich man say what, or let the weak man say what? I am strong, I am. Because when you put a different that or a different conditioning on the awareness, you get a different reality. Okay, that makes so much sense. Hi, Ash, how are you, baby? Okay, hold on, y'all, because now it's a lot going through in the comments, y'all. Now, bear with me. Thank you for liking the live, the live, baby. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me read the comments. That was a great metaphor. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. I personally don't consider myself a human being. I consider myself a soul in a human body. Absolutely. Tylen's life. Absolutely. You are the divine having a human experience. You are God having a human experience. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience. Absolutely. You are correct. You are not a human being. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. That is correct. A part of God inside a human body. That part. I am that I am is. Okay, okay, so we're good here. Now let me read these comments. Hold on, y'all, because y'all got like 25 comments over here. Hold on, babies. Hold on. Let me make sure okay, hold on. Let me see if I can, it done scrolled all the way to the bottom. Hold on. Okay, who exactly? Thank you for the rose, baby. I appreciate you. Okay, let's see what we got. God is higher power, correct. Most high is infinite energy, correct. The space of conscious awareness. Isn't it not written that ye are gods? Isn't it not? That's what it say in the Bible. But a lot of people like to take other verses and say that it don't say that. And that's okay. I don't tell people what to believe. I don't tell my students what to believe. I simply am here to inspire you guys to create beliefs that serve you. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. If you want to believe you're less than God or you're less than whatever, that's on you. That's going to be the reality you create. But I'm going to do my best to show you that you can believe something different. Wouldn't God be the unified field of consciousness? So I haven't heard the terminology unified field of consciousness. I do use quantum field, but I like that. Unified field of consciousness, I would say so. That sounds accurate. It's all about genetic anatomy, biology, DA, kundalini energy. Girl, you can't speak. Okay, thank you for the rose. Hold on. It's about knowing and speaking truth to power. That part. Hold on, y'all. I'm still reading the comments. God of the Bible promotes himself as superior, XY chromosomes, woman. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's make sure we're good. Okay, we got the rose. Okay. Everything's good. So we're going to go back to the other page, but I just want to be clear here. Okay. Anytime you are using the word I am, these words, you are saying God is. So anytime you say I am broke, God is broke. I am sick, God is sick. That's what you're saying, because that's the God power that you are using to create whatever the condition is, okay? So what I help you guys do in the first piece of the process when you join the Great School of Life is I help you become aware of your that's. Because every single one of y'all has a plethora of that's. I am broke, I am not enough, I am too big, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough money. You all have this plethora of that's, this conditioning that has put a limitation on your unlimited God power, because God is unlimited. So how is it that God is unlimited and God's unlimited power flows to and through me at all times? I can never turn it off. There's nothing I can do to not have the power. How is it that I am the God power and God is all, meaning wealth, health, beauty, love, fashion, freedom, confidence? God is everything, correct? So how is it if I have the God power, I am the God power, so I am everything that I want, why don't I see that? Why is my physical reality showing me a true contradiction to the all that I am? And again, Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind has been conditioned. Your that's are not helping you. So let me give you a visual, okay? Don't say all, that's a limit I don't claim. All what? Don't say all, that's a limit I don't claim. All what? I said that God is the all. How is that a limit? I'm not sure what you're asking. Maybe you heard me incorrectly. Or maybe I said something incorrectly. But what I meant was God is the all. That's not a limitation. How you think America rules is because they have the gods in their possession of your power. I'm not sure what you mean, but everybody has the God power. Everybody has the same amount. It's unlimited. You said you all have a limit. I see what you're saying. So I say you all have a limit. You have a limitation in the mind, yeah. Even you believing that you don't is a limit. Like, that's a closed-minded belief to believe you don't have any limits. But again, that's not up for me to discuss. If you don't believe you have any limits, I love that. I love it. If your reality is showing you don't have any limits, good for me. Go with that. Now, let's talk about this. Spirit. I want the water in these water bottles to represent spirit. Okay? I want you to let the water represent God. Okay? This water is formless. When I say it's formless, I mean it doesn't have any shape of its own. It doesn't have any form of its own. It's going to take the form of whatever vessel I put it in. Okay? The spirit or the water represents spirit. I want you to let the water bottles represent consciousness, awareness, or the mind. Every single one of us has the same amount of God power, an infinite amount. Nobody can have any more than you. Nobody has more God power than you. Nobody has, I don't care how much money they have. I don't care how much love you think they have. They don't have more God power than you, and they're not closer to God than you are. Every single one of us has the same amount, an infinite amount. There is no limit to the amount of God power that's flowing to and through you, ever. However, based on the vessel that you allow your God power or the water to flow through, the water or the God power is going to take the shape or the limitation, whatever word you want to use, of the vessel. For example, this vessel we can say is I am broke. So I am is the God power. Broke is the conditioning. The God power is flowing through a vessel of broke, and it's going to create a reality of broke. On the flip side, this vessel is I am rich. So the God power is flowing through a rich consciousness or a rich vessel, and therefore takes the shape of richness. Nobody has more God power than you. The people that have more money than you are not more powerful than you. They have just created vats or vessels or conditioning that gets them what they want instead of what they don't want. Okay? So spirit is the water, no form. Formless, infinite. Whatever vessel you allow God's power to flow through, your consciousness, your mind, your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, the spirit, the water is going to take the shape of your consciousness. And if your consciousness is filled with lack and limitation, you are going to experience a reality that looks like lack and limitation as well. Okay? All right, let me back up. Let me make sure there's nothing in the comments. The way you break it down, thank you so much, baby. I appreciate you. Thank you for the rose, Kiki. I appreciate you, love. Okay, let me make sure there's no comments over here. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Absolutely. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's literally what we're talking about. Okay? So let's talk about this. If God said in Romans 12:2 to be transformed by the renewing of our mind to create our dream life, if God said in Matthew 6:33 to seek seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things would be added unto us. If Ephesians say that we can receive exceeding abundantly more than we ask or think because of the power that works within us, your job is to take these Bible verses and actually live your life by them. The problem is you don't have a system to do that. You don't have a step-by-step process to do that. The Bible tells us what to do, but it doesn't tell us how to do it. That's where science comes in. That's where this scientific formula, the life recipe that I created to get you from caterpillar to butterfly, comes in. To the point where you know the Bible verses mentally, and to the point where you're actually living them spiritually. There's a difference between knowing something mentally and knowing something spiritually. When you know something mentally, you're analyzing it. It's outside of you. When you know something spiritually, it is within you. It is you. You are one with it. You're thinking from it versus thinking of it. That's why I named the course Thinking from the End. You're thinking from your butterfly life instead of thinking of it as something outside of you. You have to become one with the life you want in order for you to actually naturally live it. Okay? All right, let's back up. Steve said, okay, yes, great points. Thank you, Steve. In your DNA. It's in your Dana. It's in your Dana. Okay, hold on. I got this paradigm stick figure tattooed on my arm when I turned 30. R.I.P. Bob. Okay, hold on. Hold on, twin. Hold on, twin. Hold on, twin. Can you see it? Oh, shoot. I can't even get my arm in there. Hold on. I got to show it. Because Eduardo said he got one. So let me pull out mine. So if you guys didn't know, Bob Proctor was my first mentor. When I got into this space in 2020, I invested 32 bands total to actually become a consultant of his company. And literally, that decision is why I'm here today teaching you guys. Can y'all see it? Y'all can't really see it, but I got it tattooed too. It's kind of in the dark. Black people be like. Anyways, I have this tattooed on my wrist just as Eduardo does because it reminds me of mind over matter. It reminds me that I'm in control of my mind. It doesn't control me. Okay, and if I can get my mind under my control, I can get my reality under my control. Okay, all right, let's back up. Let's make sure we don't have any more comments. Hi, Kira, how are you, baby? Hello, my love. It becomes your thought process, that part. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me make sure I got all the comments. Okay, let's see. Let's go. Okay, perfect. 100. Okay, great. So we're good? Okay, so in order for you, in order for anyone to create their heaven on earth, in order for you to change your reality, you must change the mind. You have to change your consciousness. It's not optional. A lot of people, when they join the Great School of Life, they've tried so many things and they're so frustrated because they've done all the actions. They tried all the strategies, all the action. They're doing all of the things they're doing. But they're still working with the consciousness of I'm not enough. They're still working with the consciousness of this ain't gonna work. They're still working with the consciousness of I gotta work 5 times as hard to get where I wanna go. If you are someone who identifies as black, let me be the one to shut this shit down right now. Stop believing that because you are of color, because you are a black person, that you are less than and that you have to work twice as hard as somebody else. Because the more that you believe that you have to do twice as much work to get half the pay, that's going to be the reality you live. Your blackness is not a hindrance. It's a superpower. It makes you relatable. Your blackness is not a hindrance. It's a superpower. And the only thing that you cannot change it. You're going to be black until you die. So it's not going to serve you anymore. It's not serving you anymore to believe that your blackness is a hindrance for you. Your skin color, something as superficial as the color of your skin when you're literally divine. And I'm not talking to y'all from this high and mighty place. I'm black. Although I didn't have these deep-rooted beliefs that me being black meant I was less than, I did have the belief that I had to work 5 times as hard as a black woman to get half as much. I did believe that. And I did. I went to college. I got a 4-year degree in 3 years. I graduated cum laude. I was working 3 jobs. Bought my first house when I was 22. Got the corporate job. Had to save as the 401k. Oh, I'm that girl. No. No. All of that wealth was built on this false identity that I'm not enough. And it wasn't sustainable at all. Okay? So, let's get into it. That's just a little 2 cents if you identify as black. Okay? That's a little 2 cents now. All right. Okay, let's see. So let's talk about this. Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. If you want to create a new reality, you do not try to change reality. Reality is an effect. If you want to change an effect, you go to the cause. You don't try to change reality. Because it's an illusion. You go to the cause of your reality, which is your beliefs, your identity, your thoughts, your feelings, your consciousness, how you see yourself, your perception of self. Every single one of y'all has an inner self-image that reflects on your outer self-image. So this drawing right here, right, was created by a doctor back in the 40s. Now, I want you guys to put in the comments for me, and I want you to tell me what your mind looks like. So when I say the word mind, I want you to tell me in the comments what picture pops up when I say that word. What picture pops up when I say the word mind? What picture pops up? Come on, change your mind. Come on with them. I'm trying to tell you. What picture pops up? When I say mind, what picture pops up in your head? The brain. Empty space. Beautiful. Let's see if we get some more comments. Blackness. Light. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so we got blackness, light, empty space, and the brain. So do you see how in the subconscious, do you see how I asked all y'all the same exact question and I got 4 different answers? One, I want you to understand that right there shows you that reality is subjective. Whatever you believe to be true is going to be the reality you experience. That's number 1. But number 2, I want you to understand that there is no universal picture for what the mind looks like. And we think in pictures. If I say the word brain, there's a picture of the brain that pops up. If I say crab legs, there's a picture of crab legs. If I say Maserati, there's a picture of Maserati. If I say flower, there's a picture. But when I say the mind, you don't have a clear picture of it. And it doesn't mean that you can't change it, but it is a more difficult process because we think in pictures. So there was a doctor in the 40s, a holistic health doctor, that basically said, we're not even doing people the right service because we're over here trying to treat their symptoms, the symptoms of the dis-ease, instead of going to the cause of the dis-ease. So he said, I'm going to draw a picture of the mind. So this is the stick person that he drew. At the Great School of Life, this is what I help you guys. This is what I use to help you understand the mind. You can think your mind looks like whatever you want. Doesn't matter to me. This is very simple. It's a stick person that looks just like you, big ass head, little body. Okay. So this is what we use. So this whole drawing is the mind. This top circle is the mind, part of the mind. And this bottom circle is the body part of the mind. The body is an instrument of the mind. The mind is not a thing. The mind is movement. A lot of people get the mind and the brain confused. They're not the same. They work together. They are both very powerful, but the brain is a physical instrument of your body and is located in your head. The mind is a movement that is in every cell of your being. Every cell of your being has mind. Your physical body, your head, has the brain. They do work together. Very powerful, not the same. Okay? So this top circle is the mind. This bottom circle is the body. If there's anything you're experiencing in your reality, in your physical world, in your reality, it started in the mind. You can bet your bottom dollar. You don't have to guess. If there's anything in your reality right now, it started in the mind. And if you do not go to the mind and remove the seed that's rooted, you're going to continue to produce the fruit. That's why you're not getting results. It's not because you don't know enough. It's not because you need more information. It's because you have not fully uprooted that seed. You have not fully uprooted the cause, so you keep reaping a similar effect. And what a lot of people try to do is they try to come down here on the physical plane and they try to take an apple and make it a mango. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. What you can do is you can come up here and remove the apple seed and plant a mango seed, and then you will get mangoes infinitely. But that's not what we do. Because that's not what the world tells us to do. The world tells us that we don't know enough. We're not smart enough. We need more information. We got to go get it. Everything is hard. Life sucks. Then you die. My teacher in, I think it was 6th grade, my social studies teacher, he used to say, life sucks, then you die. And I used to say that. And I don't know when I stopped saying it, but you can bet your bottom dollar I don't say that anymore. I only said it because it came up just now. Think about that, though. Think about that saying. Life sucks, then you die. What type of reality you think you're going to create? You think you're going to create a fun, loving, happy, wealthy reality if you believe that life sucks and then you die? No, you're not. Those aren't in harmony. There's never going to be a time where you frown at a mirror and it smiles back. It's literally impossible. The only time you're going to get a smile from a mirror is if you're smiling at it. The only time you're going to see wealth in your reality is if you see wealth within. There's no way for you to see it outside of yourself. There's no way for you to be aware of something outside of yourself that you're not first aware of in consciousness. Okay? So awareness is the first step. It is key. Okay? You are what you believe. Say that. You are what you believe. Whatever you believe to be true will be your truth. Whatever you believe to be true will be your truth. Whatever you believe. Whatever. It don't matter. You can believe that money comes to you in your sleep. I believe that. And you know what my reality shows me? Money coming to me in my sleep. Every single day, honestly, for the last 4 months almost, I have made sales every single day. Every single day. I'm not lying to you guys. Every single day, I wake up and sales have been made. Why? Because I now believe that reality is possible for me. It's already done for me. And I've allowed God to work through me. I'm no longer in the way. The song I played at the beginning of this call, I don't know if you guys were here at the beginning, but I played a song called Surrender by Janae Aiko. Go listen to it. That's what you need. That's where forgiveness comes in. That's the surrender step. You need to let. You don't know how to let go and let God. You don't know how to let go of control because you think you're in control and you're not. And that's why you're struggling. That's why you're burnt out, because you're trying to create a life that you've never created and you're trying to figure out how you're going to do that. You're not going to know how. There's no way for you to know how you're going to do something you've never done until after you do it. There's no way that I could have told you how I was going to call in sales every single day for 4 months until now. I could tell you how I did it now, but I had no idea how I was going to do it 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago. I knew I wanted to. I knew why I wanted to, and I created a plan, but I allowed God to course correct me. I'm in my passenger princess era, okay? I don't drive the boat. I'm done driving the boat. I asked God probably about 3 months ago now. I said, God, what else you want me to do, bro? Like, I've done everything you asked. I'm seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. I'm being transformed by the renewing of my mind. I'm doing the things. What do you want? You know what God said? Somebody, thank you for the roses, baby. I appreciate you. Somebody put in the comments what you think God told me. Somebody put in the comments what you think God told me. Thank you for the galaxy. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for the rose. Okay, y'all, nothing. Monisha. I said, God, what do you want me to do? God said, I don't want you to do anything. I didn't mean to, let me close this. I'm sorry, love. I didn't mean to do this. I don't want to mess this up. Thank you for the roses, baby. I really appreciate you. 70 roses is crazy. Thank you. God said nothing. Jesus, take the wheel. He driving the bus. I'm sitting in the front row. I got you. Stop. I don't want you to do anything. I want you to get out of my way. I want you to let go of your what you think you have control over, and I want you to let me have it. You don't need to do anything. I got it. I've been trying to tell you this for the last 5 years anyway. But I was so conditioned to the outside world. You got to figure it out. You got to do it. You got to go get it. You got to make it happen. You got to hustle. You got to grind. You got to get it out the mud. You got to be an entrepreneur. What do they say about entrepreneurs? We left our 9 to 5 to get a 24/7. Fuck that. Baby, no. I'm going to tell you, you get a good 4 hours of me. You get a good 4 hours of work out of me every Monday through Thursday. 4 hours. That's about all you're going to get. I don't work 24/7. I rest like it makes me money. That's what I believe. I believe the more I rest, the more I get out of the way, the more money comes in. The more I get my negative beliefs, thoughts, feelings out of the way, the more money comes in. I don't get in the way anymore. I'm done getting in the way. I already did my part. I already did my part. Now, that doesn't mean that I do nothing, because what I'm doing right now is creation. What I'm doing right now is part of work, right? But I love this. And I don't do this to get paid. I do this because it's my passion. I would do this for free. I did it for the first damn near 4 years for free because it wasn't about the money. And that's what a lot of you guys, especially when you join the Thinking from the End program, you can click the link in my bio as well, submit an application and book a call. But when you join us, that's one of the things that I teach you. What would you do for free? Don't worry about what's going to make you the most money, because that shit's going to make you miserable because you're only doing it for the money. What would you do for free? I would teach this material for free. I'm going to spend the rest of my life teaching this material. Literally. That's one of the things I learned from Bob. As soon as Bob got into this material, he said, I didn't want to do anything else but teach it. I've been searching for success my whole life, since I was a little girl. My parents always told me, you like expensive shit, you need to be successful. Okay, how? How do I be successful? Go to school, work a job. That's not how you be successful. That's not the secret to success. That's actually the secret to burnout, and that's the secret to what's the word I'm looking for? Resentment. That's not the secret to success. But that's what we're programmed to believe. And a lot of us go to these schools and get these degrees believing that a job is security. And then what happens? You get laid off. They restructure. The job shuts down. Now you feel like your security is gone. Well, you fucked up believing that job was your security, instead of remembering that God is your security and the job was a vessel through which you received the security. And because the vessel has been removed, it means another vessel will take its place. The source is the same. The source hasn't changed. God is your source. Your job ain't your source. My clients aren't my source. The Great School of Life is not my source. Community over commission is not my source. Thinking from the End is not my source. Those are resources. Those are vessels through which God gives me my good. And if it don't come from my business, if it doesn't come from my course, if it doesn't come from my other school, it'll come from somewhere else. Because my unlimited supply will find another channel. We're talking about God here, remember? We're talking about the creator of the universe. You don't think God can put another vessel to get you all good? Come on now. Don't piss God off like that. Don't. Do not put God to shame like that. Okay? But that's easier said than done. And this is, again, what I teach you guys how to do. I teach you how to step out on that faith. Now, caterpillars don't have the conscious mind, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But I could bet your bottom dollar when a caterpillar is about to get in that cocoon, they're scared shitless. They're like, bro, I want to be a butterfly. I do. I want to fly. I see them flying all the time. And I know this is what I have to grow through to get there. But this is scary. I got to let go of my caterpillar life, my caterpillar mama, my caterpillar kids. I got to let go of my caterpillar house, my caterpillar shoes. I got to let all that go to get into this tight cocoon, this very small, isolated space so that God can literally destroy the life that I've created today that's built on false premises, false beliefs, and actually recreate me in the image of perfection of a butterfly. But the caterpillar knows that what it has to give up is so much is less valuable than the life it's going to get. I sold my car last year to get into a mentorship program. People think that's crazy. When I first got into Bob's program, he actually talked about how one of his clients or his consultants, the top one, sold her car to get in his program. And I thought she was crazy as shit back then. Never say never. And that was the best decision I could have made. It showed me a lot of things. But one thing about me, and this is why a lot of my students prefer me over whoever else, is because I'm going to bet on me 100% of the time. If it's anything that I'm going to invest in, it's going to be self. Because I know this 99% of consciousness is 99% success. If I get the 99% of me together, baby, the 1% will take care of itself. You ain't got to worry about that. That's why people join the Great School of Life. That's why they join Thinking from the End. Because I don't just give you a strategy to bring in more money. I help you become the version of you that can sustain that money. Because you can get a windfall of money and blow that shit. Y'all know the people that win the lottery, more often than not, they're worse off years later than when they started. Why? Because they got a windfall of money with the same broke consciousness, the same lack consciousness, the same scarcity consciousness. So money, great, love that. If you don't have the consciousness to sustain it, it's not going to matter. It's not going to do you any good. You're going to lose it because you're not who you need to be to sustain it. Okay? Now let me back up. Let me read the comments real quick. Hold on, y'all. Ooh, it's hot in here. I just bought one. What you just bought? Oh, one of my emotions. Oh, yeah, the emotion poster. Period, sis. I had to let them know. Realtor Bob Life. I had to let them know. You need that. I can't lose. I am great. I am in amazing health and so on and so on. And there is no perfect time. Now, right now, today, immediately, as we're speaking, let him guide your steps. Let him. You speak in my life. Okay. Your purpose will make room for your will. Jobs just means over broke. Ooh, over broke. Just over broke. I love that. Job means just over broke. I feel like I've heard that before, but I like that. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me back up. Hold on, y'all. Okay, glory, do it. Okay, hold on. Bear with me. I know I got 2 TikToks. Give me 1 second, y'all. Ooh, y'all got a lot going on over here. Okay, how do you change your mindset of lack? Great question. We're going to answer that here in a second. Okay, wow. No, okay. What you are, what you believe, that part. Okay, I call this concept internal confirmationalism, manifesting externally. Okay, I like that. So how do we, did I miss the questions? Hold on. Oh, wow. Hold on, y'all. How do you change your mindset of lack? So we're going to talk about that here in a second. Love that song. It's my favorite. You become what you think about that part. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. And then what's the other one? Nothing is good or bad except thinking makes it so. That's Shakespeare. Okay, hold on. Rest. You just take the wheel. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm just reading the comments. You are doing the show tonight specifically for me. God gave you the words I need to hear and did. And I want you guys to understand that. So I Am Schaefer said, ma'am, you're doing this show tonight specifically for me. God gave you the words I needed to hear. Please understand. Please understand. You don't need to know how. You don't. You're not going to know how until after. What you need is faith based on understanding, knowing that God is going to give you everything you need at the instant that you need it. I'm sure Schaefer just got on the internet, living life, probably had a prayer maybe earlier or last night, asking God for guidance, and let the shit go. Just went on about their life. Then God says, bet, here's a lie to give you what you need. You're always going to get what you need at the instant you need it, whether it's money, energy, time, resources. It doesn't matter. It all comes from God, and God is within you. If there is any blockage in the wealth in your life, it's because you have created a blockage in your consciousness. But everything you need is provided at the instant it is actually needed. Instantly. You don't got to go search for it. You don't got to go ask. You have a conversation with God, thank God for the guidance, and let. And live your day as if it's already done. Live your day as if you already have the answers, and they will be shown to you in the most convenient way possible. There was no effort on Schaefer's part to get on this live. No effort. Because that's how life works, in an effortless way. But the world has programmed you to put more effort in. The more effort, the more action. That's what they tell you. I want you guys to think about the trees outside and the flowers. Do the flowers uproot themselves every day to go get water, to go get sunlight and nutrients? No. They stay rooted and grounded, and everything they need comes to them. Water, does the water force itself to flow down the river? No. It's effortless. It's least action, least resistance. Everything operates like that except us. Why? Because we have the ability to choose. And because the world has given us ideas before we could choose, now we continue to choose them every single day and we don't even know it. Now, the question was, how do you change your mindset? So thank you for subscribing. Of course, I am manifesting living out of YouTube. Okay. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me read the comments real quick. So how do you do the work to change your mind, but also let God take over? Great question, Monisha. We're going to talk about that here in a second, baby. I was hope scrolling, finding things to give folks hope and a better understanding of themselves, and I found you. I love that. I can't tell you, hold on, how many times it's happened. I just asked for it, and God brought it to me. I did have to put some action in, though. And I'm not saying that you don't. Look at the formula. 1%. Even the flowers don't physically get up and act, but their roots draw in everything that they need effortlessly. I'm not saying you don't have to take action. I'm just saying it don't matter what action you take. If you're in the consciousness of lack and limitation, your actions aren't going to matter. So it would behoove you to get your consciousness together, the 99%, and then your actions will naturally follow who you believe you are. Naturally. They will naturally follow. It has to, because your actions, are in the body, and the body is an instrument of the mind. It cannot do anything other than what the mind tells it. Now let's talk about this drawing because we really didn't get into it. So the conscious mind and the subconscious, we live on this 3D plane and we have what's called duality. Okay. So the truth is everything is one. Everything is energy. Everything is God. So you can say energy, or you can spell it like this, energy. Okay. Let me pull this up real quick. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. This is an Albert Einstein quote. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but to get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Everything is energy. Everything is God. Everything is one. But because we live on this 3D plane, we have what's called duality. Up, down, hot, cold, in, out, rich, poor, male, female. Okay? So the conscious is the male aspect of creation, and the subconscious is the female aspect of creation. Okay? There's no true separation between them. That's why this line is dotted. So you have the conscious and the subconscious, and then you have the body. The conscious mind is the male aspect of creation. This is the thinking mind. Okay, so I got the T right here. So everything that's right here, right? Well, not everything, but these four are over here. Okay, you can see them on the drawing. Let me pull this forward so you can see, make sure we got the beliefs in there. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Uh-oh. Hold on. I want to make sure everybody can see it. Okay. The conscious mind is 2% of your success. This is why A lot of you may know how to do better. You may know the Bible verses. You may know these skills, but your life, your reality isn't changing. It doesn't matter what you know consciously. That's only 2% of your results. 2% of your results is conscious. That means what you choose to do every single day, what you decide every single day, and what you accept is 2% of your results. That's not that much. That's a very little bit. So knowing what I'm telling you is not enough. You have to embody it. You have to get it into the subconscious, which is 97% of your results. The subconscious is the female aspect. This is the garden of the mind. This is where all things are manifested. It's manifested in the subconscious, which is the unconscious. The word conscious means aware. Okay? So you have the aware mind and then you have the unaware mind. So anytime you see the word consciousness, it is also awareness. Those are interchangeable. Awareness and consciousness, you can interchange those words. Okay? The conscious mind is the male aspect. You can think of it as the farmer with the seed. The subconscious is the female aspect. You can think of the subconscious as the garden. So I want you guys to think, gotta go, gotta manifest my dreams, good stuff. Of course, thank you for being here, love. Amen. God is rooting you right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's rooting all of us. Okay? So I want you guys to understand. I want you to think of an actual garden, right? So if you've ever planted a seed before, you get to choose whatever seed you want to plant, right? The earth doesn't tell you what seed to plant. You get to choose. If you want apple, mango, grape, banana, you get to choose the seed. Once you plant that seed into the earth takes root, a hold of that seed, breaks the seed apart. It's then rooted and grounded, and then a tree springs up in harmony with the seed that you planted. This is how the subconscious mind works. The subconscious mind doesn't have the ability to reject anything. Just like the earth. When you plant an apple seed into the ground, the earth's not like, oh no, I don't want an apple seed today. No, thank you. Nah, I'm actually looking for a mango. No, thank you. The subconscious, the earth doesn't have that ability. The subconscious mind will accept whatever you give it. So if your conscious mind is saying that I am a millionaire, but your subconscious mind has seeds of broke and lack and limitation, it's not going to matter that you're saying that you're a millionaire. It's what you believe to be true. Subconsciously. It's what you've gotten emotionally involved with, what you feel as true. It's not about what you think to be true. It's about what you feel to be true. Feeling is the secret, and the subconscious mind is the feeling mind. So you can know everything that I'm teaching you. You could have heard this recording or this live 30 times. It's not going to change your life because you have not internalized it. You have not taken the information and actually made it one with you. That's why I said there's a difference between knowing something mentally and knowing something spiritually. When you know something mentally, you're looking outside, you're looking at it and it's outside of you. When you know something spiritually, you are one with it. And it's only the ideas that you are one with that manifest. You don't manifest what you know. You manifest what you believe subconsciously, what you believe energetically. Okay? So again, the conscious mind gets to choose. You get to choose what type of seed you want to plant. You get to choose what type of life you want to live. You get to choose what type of tree you want to have. You get to choose that. But how it's manifested, you do not get to choose. Your free will to choose ends when you drop that idea into the subconscious. Free will ends at that point because the subconscious takes over and it creates fruit, it creates reality, it creates circumstances in harmony with the seed. So a lot of you guys have, I'm not enough. That's why you're creating a reality that shows you that. You have, I don't have any money. I'm broke. I was on the phone yesterday with a prospective student, and we got to the point where it was time for her to invest. And I said, you've decided to invest? She said, yes. I said, okay, this is what the tuition is. This is how we can proceed. What are you willing to invest today? She said, well, I'm broke. I said, whoa. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Let's stop it in its tracks. That's why self-awareness is key. Because the way, when you're speaking, it's natural to you. You don't think about it. You don't think about the words that you say. The words that you say today, the thoughts that you think, the feelings that you feel are the same 95% of what you thought yesterday and felt yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. So it just rolled off her tongue naturally. And that's the reality that she's been creating. So my job was to switch it and make her aware of it immediately. Hold on, stop. You are not broke. I said, you say you're broke because you don't see any money in your bank account, correct? She said, yeah. I said, you don't see any money in your bank account, but you're talking to me on the phone that money paid for. You're probably using Wi-Fi that money paid for. You're probably about to go in the kitchen and open a fridge with food that money paid for. You probably washed your ass this morning with water that money paid for. You're probably living in an apartment or a house that money paid for. So it doesn't matter what your physical bank account says. You did with the money what you were supposed to do. You exchanged it for something of greater value. You're not broke. You're swimming in money right now. You're swimming in money. I don't care what any of you guys have in your bank account. I don't care. I don't care if it's negative. I don't care if you're $60,000 in debt. You are swimming in money. All you have to do is change your perception. That's it. Because yeah, your bank account says $0, but your fridge is full. You have gas. You paid your car note this month. You paid the light bill. You sent money to your mama. You donated. Don't tell me you're broke. Just because your physical reality shows you an illusion of I don't have any. When you're swimming in money, it's just in another form. I am swimming in money. Broke is an identity. Say that. That is a state of consciousness. And if 99% of your consciousness is broke, guess what? No matter what actions you take, you can get $1 million skill. You can go back to school. You can get into a industry where you can make $100,000 a year. Doesn't matter. Your consciousness, your belief, your thought, your feeling, your identity is broke. And you're going to sabotage it unconsciously because the ideas that you have are that you're broke. That money is hard to get. That you got to work hard for it. Maybe you got to scam somebody to get it. You got to do something evil to get it. These are the identities, the beliefs that you hold, and that's why your reality is the way that it is. Temporary insufficient. That's the way to look at it. I wouldn't say that, but that's okay. However, whatever works, right? There's a book that I give you guys when you join, Money is God in Action. In that book, what it says is when the barometer on my bank account goes down, it is an indication that it will go back up if I am open to the idea of money. I want you guys to think about life. Can you take a breath in before you give a breath? Can you reap an apple fruit before you sow a seed? No. It's the same thing with money. When you circulate the money out, more money circulates in. When you circulate it out, more circulates in. Circulation is the flow of the universe. It's an infinite flow. The problem that you're having is you're trying to hoard it. You're trying to keep it stagnant. And money don't want to be stagnant. It's like water. It doesn't want to be stagnant. It wants to flow. And the more that you hold on to it, the more that you're blocking the flow. If you're not pushing anything out, you can't get anything in. If you're not sending anything out, how are you going to get something in? You haven't made any space for it. So when it comes to your bank account, when it comes to money, hear me today. I know the next time that you see your bank account and it's getting low, I want you to hear this ringing in your ears, okay? When the barometer on my bank account goes down, it is simply an indication that it will go back up if I stay open to the idea of money. When you see the bank account going down, I want you to start to point out all the money you're swimming in. This is something I used to do last year. When I was walking with my son and I feel that negative thought come up about how I'm going to pay this bill because I don't have a job and I don't have this, I would say, oop, swimming in money. I'd point to my socks. I point to my shoes. I point to his stroller. I point to my bracelet. I point to my headphones. I point to my phone because all of that is money. All of it is. It's just in a different form. I traded the money for shelter. I traded the money for warmth. I traded the money for food. Now, if I had $100,000 in my bank account, but I had nowhere to stay, no food to eat, no clothes on my back, no car to drive, I would be very fucking miserable. So I want you guys to start to shift your perspective, because that's all you need. You don't need anything in your outside world to change. All you need is a change in consciousness. That's all you need for your success. You don't need to change anything outside of you, anybody or anything. All you need to do is change self. Be the change you wish to see. Change the way that you look at things, and the things that you look at will change. Change the way you look at bills, and the bills will change. I promise you. Y'all pay your bills in anger, mad that you got to pay the bill. But then if God didn't give you the money to pay the bill, you'd be upset about that. God can't please you. I gave her the money to pay the bill. Now she mad she got to pay it. Then if I didn't give her the money to pay the bill, she'd be mad that she didn't have the money. So which one is it? Great question. Hold on one second. Count those trees. You can't keep up. That's one of my favorite things to tell my students to do. Go outside and count all the leaves on the trees and tell me we don't live in abundance. Tell me we don't live in an infinite universe. Go count every tree, every leaf on the tree. Then while you're at it, count every car that's ever existed. Not just the ones you can see on Google. I want you to find all of them. You can't. We live in an infinite universe. Infinite. That idea of scarcity, the world gave you that. And they gave you certain pictures. They gave you certain images to prove it to you. So you say, look, all these children can't eat. Look, all of these things. Look at all this stuff that's happening. I hear what you're saying. I hear exactly what you're saying. But let me give you another perspective. There's either two ways that you can look at your life right now. You can either look at your life and say, you know what? I have an abundance of abundance. I have an abundance of things that I want in my life. Or you can look at your life and you say, you know what? I have an abundance of lack. I have an abundance of things I don't want. Either way, it's abundance. Either way, it's abundance. It's either an abundance of what you want or an abundance of what you don't want. It's just a perspective shift. It's just a perspective shift. And you best believe, because I know people always, I'm not going to say that. This is what I'll say. God told me to get all 8 billion of his children back to him in consciousness. So I want you guys to understand that I'm not above anybody else's plight. And I'm not saying that people that are in other countries that don't have food or don't have water or don't have this, right, have to stay that way, or they called it, or whatever it is, whatever the narrative is. What I want you to know is that the information that I'm teaching you guys, I will be teaching everybody everywhere, because I am here to give people their power back, to remind them that the world has programmed them to believe that they're less than, that they don't have enough, that they're homeless, that they're this. And my job is to get you out of that, because if I can get if I can get you to give this part back to God and take it away from the world, you can change your whole life. And nothing has to change outside of you. It's an internal shift. So I want y'all to know, I'm not just doing this for Americans. I'm not just doing this for first world or developed countries. I will be teaching this material everywhere to all the billions of people, because all of you, if I have anything to do with it, are going to wake up. Before I leave this planet in 83 years, all of y'all are going to wake up. Everybody. That's what God told me to do. And I gave God my word that I would do it. Okay? All right, let's back up. Abundance is the law of the universe. I give thanks in all things. That part. So how do you let people from your past go? Great question. First of all, it gets better, right? Thank you for the roses, Realtor Barb Life. I appreciate you, baby. Abundance is the law of you. Every hair on your head. Come on, let's talk about it. I want you to count. Just go outside one day and just count the leaves. And when you mess up and you can't remember where you're at, start over. You'll be there. You won't have enough time in your life to count them all. That's the infinite that we live in, the abundance that we live in. Now, how do you let people go from your past? Okay. So for one, you want to, and this is essentially how this process goes. So let's just start with the life recipe. The first step, right? It get better. If you want to let somebody from your past go, first of all, who do you want to let go, right? And what is it that you want to let go? You have to become aware, right? What is it that you want to release? Because what you're about to do is you're about to take this seed that's been rooted of this trauma or this pain or whatever experience or whatever story you've been telling yourself about that person. You got to pull that shit up. Because right now it's in the subconscious and we want to be very clear about what it is that we want. So when we uproot that seed, I want you to ask yourself, right? Because you want to know how to let them go. That's step 2. That's what the word forgive means. It means to let go of completely. So first step though, before we can let go of it, we need to know what we're letting go of. So what's the story I've been telling myself about this past person? What's the story I've been telling myself about who I am because of what they did? Right? I want you first to become aware of what it is you want to let go of. Right? I want to let go of the pain that they caused me. I want to let go of the feeling of betrayal. I want to let go of resentment. When I tell y'all since the 10th, what's today, the 23rd? It's almost been 2 weeks. The amount of letting go of resentment and anger and just blame that I have released, I swear I'm 20 pounds lighter. But the way that I did that was first uncovering what it is that I wanted to believe or I wanted to release. I wanted to release the betrayal. I wanted to release the resentment. I wanted to release the belief that it meant something about me, their actions. A lot of us make other people's actions mean something about us. He left you, so that means you're unworthy of love. He cheated on you, so that means that you don't deserve a loyal love. Right? They did X, Y, and Z, so that means this about me. You got to uncover that first. So when you uncover the story you've been telling, the belief, right? The ideas that you're holding, the beliefs that you're holding that are keeping you stuck. Once you uncover those, then we're going to forgive. Then you're going to let go of it. I forgive you for betraying me. I forgive you for lying to me. I forgive you for passing STDs. I forgive you for treating me less than. I forgive you for X, Y, and Z. But what I like to do first is I like to forgive myself. I've noticed that it's easier for me to forgive myself first than it is to forgive others. So I forgive me first. I say, I forgive you, M. Simone, for staying in a relationship with a man that you knew was unfaithful. I forgive you, M. Simone, for acting like you didn't see the signs. I forgive you, M. Simone, for allowing a man to betray you. I forgive you for staying when you knew you should have left. Because that's all you really want. Your inner child just wants your love and your grace and your forgiveness. Because that's actually who's hurt. It's not you, it's your inner child. Whatever that relationship did, it left a mark on your inner child. And your inner child is just looking for you to tell them that it's okay. That you love them anyway. I love you no matter what. I love you unconditionally. You are not your past. You are not what they did to you. You are a child of the divine. So first, what do you want to release? What's the story you're telling yourself? What's the belief? And then forgive. That's when you actually, I forgive you for X, Y, and Z. You're going to cry. You're going to release some emotions. Maybe you'll scream. Maybe you'll throw something. I don't know. Whatever you need to do to release that emotion, do it. Because what you're doing is you're making space. Remember earlier when I said you can't plant a new seed until you pull up the old? Well, I didn't say that, but I'm saying it now. You can't plant a new seed until you pull up the old one. Believe it or not, your life is full right now. You're at 100% capacity. And in order for you to get more, receive more, you got to give more. That's how it works. You want an apple tree, you give the apple seed. So first step, what is the seed? What's the story I've been telling myself? What does it mean about me? Second step, let that shit go. Forgive. Let it go. Now, this might be a process that you have to do a couple times. I definitely allow my students, I'm not going to say allow. I definitely encourage my students to forgive often, quickly and often. This is biblical now. What does the Bible tell us? One of the disciples asked Jesus, so what, I'm supposed to forgive him 7 times? What Jesus said, 70 times 7. You're supposed to unconditional forgiveness. There ain't no conditions to forgiveness because it's not about them. It's about you. You think that you holding on to the unforgiveness is hurting them. It ain't doing shit to them. It's hurting you because you're replaying this idea. You're replaying these thoughts. You're replaying these feelings. They're living their life. So forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for you. It ain't got nothing to do with anybody else. It is for you. It's not for them. We don't even have to tell them that we're forgiving them. I do all of this in my journal. I write it all down. I give it to God, I cry, I release, and I go on by my day. And then another day comes up, maybe something else comes up. I forgive it, I cry, I release it, I go on about my day. And I keep making space for the good that I actually want in my life. Okay? Okay, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Put up boundaries. I forgive me for staying, knowing I should have left. Absolutely, your inner child wants you to validate them, to give them a voice. That part. It's never too late. It's never too late. Okay, the guilt of the pain that my ex and stepchild, I still provide, but it's painful. Okay, hold on, back up. So how do you let go of people from your past? Give thanks in all things. Amen, sis. Thank you, God, for you and your wisdom. Thank you for being here, Rosie. My ex and stepchild, I still provide, but it's painful. The guilt of the pain I caused. Okay, cool. So what's happening is you have this story that you've been telling yourself, that you are obligated to still provide for your ex and your stepchild, or you feel obligated to still provide for them because of the pain that you caused. Okay? Just based off the statement you just gave me, right? You're in an energy of guilt. You're in the feeling of guilt because of pain that you caused. So because you feel guilty and you feel like I shouldn't have done that. Now you're setting up this environment where you feel like you have to provide for them. Right? So that's the story. The story is I caused them pain. I feel terrible about it. I'm guilty. And to make it up to them, I'm going to still provide even though it hurts me. That's not helping anybody. That's not helping them. That's not helping you. So now that you know what the story is, I want you to ask yourself a couple questions. Thank you for the Rosa, baby. I want you to ask yourself a couple questions, right? Oh, hold on. My phone's about to die, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all like 10 more minutes because I did come on kind of late. Hold on, let me transfer the phones over. Hold on. I gotta charge my phone real quick before it dies on us. Ooh, Jesus. Okay. Hold on, y'all. So we're gonna work through this because I want you to truly leave here feeling different. Truly. Okay? Hold on. Thank you for the gift, baby. I appreciate you. Thank you, my love. Okay, so the story, thank you for the heart puff, baby, I appreciate you. Okay, so the story is, right, I caused my ex pain and I feel guilty. And because I caused the pain, because I feel guilty, I am still going to provide even though it sucks for me. Even though I dislike it, it's actually painful for me. I'm still going to do it because I caused them pain. Okay? So now this is what I want you to ask yourself. That's the story you're telling yourself. I want you to ask yourself, is that limiting you or is that empowering you? This is the process that I take you guys through in the Life Recipe, in the Thinking from the End program. So you can click the link in my bio. You can submit an application to book a call. But this is the process I take you through. First of all, we uncover the story. Second of all, we're going to analyze this hoe because it feels so real and it feels so true, but we're going to break it down. First step, is this limiting me or empowering me? Is it limiting me to believe that I cause so much pain that I have to still provide and it's painful for me? Is that limiting me or is that empowering me? That's limiting me from getting to my dream life, right? Because I am putting myself in what's the word I'm looking for? Self-inflicted bounds. I'm bounding myself, that's the word. I'm binding myself to another based on what I think I did. Based on how I see the situation. That's not empowering me to get to my dream life. It's keeping me stuck in the past. It's limiting me to believe that I still need to do for them because I caused so much pain. That's limiting you. That's not empowering you. It's limiting you. So we know it's limiting us to believe that we cause so much pain that we need to stay and now create pain for ourselves. That's limiting. The second piece of that is, I want you to ask yourself where that comes from. Where does the idea come from that if I hurt somebody, that I should subject myself to pain to put them in a better situation? Hi, Kiera, how are you, baby? Because it comes from somewhere. It could be your parents' relationships. I know for me, the relationships that I had as an adult reflected the relationships that I saw as a child. My dad always had any and everybody through there. I've met, I don't know how many women in my lifetime. My dad has had girlfriend after girlfriend after girlfriend after girlfriend after girlfriend. My mom remarried. And I saw my mom on at least 3 different occasions let my stepdad leave and come back. Why? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter why she did it. Thank you for the galaxy. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you, love. It doesn't matter why she did it. The fact is, I, as a child, saw that as how relationships worked. So that's exactly what I perpetuated. I let a man come and go because that's what was normalized to me as a child. So there is something that you have, either the media, school, TV, your parents. There's lots of ways where we get ideas and we get this sense of self, right? But what I want you to do, and what I have you guys do in the program, is I have you analyze these things. Where did this come from? Where did it come from that because I hurt somebody, or I did something wrong, that now I have to be subservient to them, or I have to put my shit on hold to make them feel better at my detriment? Where did that come from? Okay. So where it came from. And then lastly, is it absolutely true or is it relatively true? So I want you guys to think of it this way, right? A relative truth is something that's true sometimes. Occasionally, okay? I'll give you an example. Here in America, it is relatively true that being fat or being overweight is unattractive. That's relatively true here in America. If you go to Eastern countries, thicker women are signs of royalty. They actually seek out fat women. Fat being undesirable is relatively true based on your experience, based on where you live, right? Based on your experiences. On the flip side, an absolute truth is the law of gravity. It doesn't matter where you go on this planet. It doesn't matter how big you are, how much money you have, if you believe in God or not. If you jump off the side of something, you're going to be grounded 100% of the time. If you jump off the side of a bridge, you're going to hit the ground. That's an absolute truth. It's true no matter what. Absolutely. So what you start to realize when you go through this process in the Thinking from the End program is you start to realize that a lot of these things that I believe that are keeping me stuck and limiting me are not actually true. They're only true sometimes. And if it's true sometimes, it's not true at all. There is no sometimes. It's either true or it's not. Okay? So that's the first step in this process. You have to uncover the story, do a little bit of analysis, pull the roots out, because the story is the seed, but we want to pull the roots, all of it out. We want all of it gone, and then we're going to forgive. So the question was, how do I let go of somebody from my past? First of all, figure out what you want to let go, and then let it go. Now, you're going to say, I forgive you, self, for believing that you have to bend over backwards because you hurt somebody. I forgive you, right, for putting your needs to the side to better the life of somebody else. I forgive you for the pain that you caused. I forgive you for the guilt that we've been walking in, whatever it is. I forgive you, self, for it. And then you can move into forgiving other people. But after you forgive, then you want to send yourself love. Because even though you're providing for them and it's painful for you, you're coming from a place of love. And I want you to love that about yourself, and I want you to acknowledge it. I love you, self, for wanting to take care of other people. I love you, self, for wanting to right your wrongs. I love you for blah, blah, blah. Thank you for blah, 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 whatever it is. And then we're going to go into step 3, right? But the question was, how do I let go? First of all, figure out what you want to let go and why, and then forgive. Let it go. Physically release it. You can burn that paper. You can rip it up. You can cry. That's one of the best ways to release crying. You can throw something, hit something, scream. There's lots of ways to release, right? But that's what forgiveness is. It's about letting go completely. So we're going to get the story that we've been telling ourselves on paper. We're going to get what we're forgiving on paper so we can see it clearly. Then we're going to dispose of it, either rip it up, burn it, whatever. And then there might be something physical happening within you as well. Like I said, crying, screaming, shouting, punching, whatever. Now, don't hit nobody else, of course, right? So that's how that process starts. And since we're already talking about the life recipe, I'll talk about it for the next 3 minutes of our call, of our class here. Hold on one second, y'all. I want me to verify that I'm not a robot or something. Hold on. Did it do it? Okay, perfect. So what we did was the first 2 steps, okay? So we did the self-awareness. Self-awareness means, right, the self-awareness step is to get all of the ideas in the subconscious out. Because the subconscious is what's creating your reality. And the subconscious, again, is the unaware mind. That means you don't even know the beliefs that you hold currently that are keeping you stuck. And how are you going to change something you're unaware of? One of my favorite quotes of all times is, you cannot escape from a prison if you don't know you're in one. How are you going to get out of something if you don't know you're in it? It's an impossible situation. And that's why a lot of you are so frustrated with your journey of creating or manifesting, because you're trying to create something without knowing what is already being created. How are you going to put something in something's place if you don't even know there's something already there? It's not going to happen. So you got to uproot it first. So the first step, self-awareness, is to bring what's subconscious into the conscious, what you're unaware of into the aware mind. And now that you're aware of it, remember the conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject. So now you can accept it or reject it. The subconscious doesn't have that choice. It has to accept. It can't reject anything. That's why you have to become aware of it first so you can reject it. All right. So once you let it go, once you release it, once you make space, because what you've done now is you've made space. Let me put a little. What you've done is you've taken this seed and you've made this space now. Now, this is the thing. If you do not consciously put something in this space, if you do not decide what to put here, another belief that's similar to the one that you released will replace it. So you have to feel that. You have to put something right there. You have to. Or the natural order of things will put something similar to what was already there. And that's not what we want. So the next step is to get in spirit. And this is the part where I remind you of your God power. This is the part where I help you step into it. This is the part where I get you to think about what it feels like to be God. If you were God, which you are, because God is flowing to and through you and you can't be separated, what would that feel like? What would it feel like to know that you are connected to all that you want? It would feel calm, confident, free, abundant, prosperous, grateful, love, joy. These are some words that describe it. Your job is to get into that feeling right now. Your job is to start to get on to God's level of looking at things. We're not going to be looking at things from the human perspective because it's very limited. We're going to rise above the human mind and we're going to get into the God mind and understand how we want to create. So get in spirit is essentially you getting into the feeling of what God feels like. How can you feel abundance right now? How can you feel prosperous right now? How can you feel more joy, more love? Right? And then once you get into that feeling, now we're going to create the new life. Now we're going to create the new life. This is the part most people start with, but you've made no room for the new life. You haven't let go of the old life, and you're still coming from a human perspective. That's why it doesn't work. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's not because you're not worthy. It's because you started in the middle of the process. You didn't do any shadow work. You didn't do any releasing. You just tried to get right into it. Just put more seeds on top. No, whatever seed is rooted is the seed that's going to be rooted. You can put a new seed on top of it if you want, but that seed's not going to grow because it don't got no space. You have to let go of something to get something. You got to make room. So now that we have room, now we're going to create the desired reality. What would you actually love from God's perspective? I teach my students to think from God's perspective, from the big God's perspective. What would be the best experience for my human? From God's perspective, not my human perspective, the big God's perspective. What would be the best life for my human? And that's what I want you to create. I want you to think big. I stretch my students. I get on the phone with people and they're like, oh, I made 4,000 and I want to make 15. Nope, we're doing 100,000. Oh, I did 12,000. I want to do 20. Nope, we're doing 100,000. Well, I want to do 100,000. Nope, we're doing 250. I'm going to stretch you. I'm going to stretch you because God don't have a budget. God has no budget. God's not up there like, well, damn, I already gave 5 people $1 million today. I don't think I can do you. We're talking about God, remember? We're talking about the source of all. God has an unlimited supply and is ready to give it to you. All you got to do is get all of this gunk out of the way. Everything they told you that was a lie, get it out of there. And let who and what you truly are come to the surface. The wealth that you want, you already have. The health, you already have. The relationship, the love, you already have it because you have God and God is everything. If you can't see it, it's because you believe that you got to get it. You believe you don't have it. You believe it's hard to get. That's why. That's why you don't see it. It's not because you're not it. You are everything you want right now. I don't know, was it? I think it's Dennis Watley or Dennis Waitley. It's not who you are that holds you back. It ain't who you are that's holding you back. You're literally God. That's not holding you back. It's who you think you're not. Not pretty enough, not smart enough, not educated enough, don't have enough money, don't know enough, don't have any resources. That's what's holding you back, not who you are. Who you are is the infinite. That's not holding you back. Okay, keep the faith. Absolutely. Thank you for the heart puff, baby. Thank you for the heart puff. Okay, 200 acres of land. Come on, somebody, she's on point. Is. Okay. Now, great. That's what I want. And I get you guys to get real specific. We don't do that vagueness around here. I was on a call and I asked her what she wanted. She said she wanted a Honda. I said, do you really want a Honda? Or is that just what you're saying? And then I'm like, what type? She's like, just it was not specific at all. If you give God a vague request, you will get a vague answer. If you are specific with what you're asking for, you will get that. This or something better is what I teach. God, I want this or something better. Not this or nothing, because you'll mess around and get nothing. Okay? This or something better. So you need to be specific. In the Thinking from the End program, we go through every area of your life. It's not just wealth. It's not just health. It's not just beauty. It's not just career. It's not just spirituality. It's not just self. It's everything. So I need you to tell me, I need you to be able to tell God exactly what you want. Then the other piece of step 4 is I need you to then tell you and tell God who you need to be, what you need to believe to actually experience that. Because if the reality you want is 200 acres of land, who do you believe you are to get that? Who do you need to be to get that? Someone who wants to call in $100,000 a month, they believe they're worth it. They believe they're an elite level salesperson. They believe that their voice is worth millions. They believe that people are seeking out their services every single day. They believe that they have the power to create. And it's the belief, again, that changes the thought, the feeling, the action, the reaction, and then the reality. So yes, I want you to know what you want specifically, as specific as possible. If it's a Maserati, what year, what it look like, what's the color, if it's got a different engine, specificity. And then I want you to then say, well, who do I need to be to get that? Who do I need to be to create a business that brings in $1 million a year? Who do I need to be to have a loving relationship with a partner who treats me like a queen? Who do I need to be? It's not what do I need to do? Do y'all hear me? I didn't say anything about what you need to do. I said, who do you need to be? It's not about what you need to do. It's about who you need to be. What you need to do is after we figure out who we need to be. We don't figure out what we need to do first. Who are we? What state of being are we in when we're living this dream life? And then step 5, we're going to match the energetic frequency of the dream life. That means we're going to get into the energy of it. Your dream life has a feeling. When you have that 200 acres of land, what does that feel like? Feels like abundance, feels like joy, feels like freedom. You need to get into that feeling right now because it's the energy that you're in that's going to magnetize it. It's the feeling that you're in that's going to call it into you. Just like the flower is in the state of being a flower. And because it is a flower, it is in the state of being everything that it needs to stay, that flower to be, that flower comes to them. So when you decide that you want to have 200 acres of land, you want to call in, let's say $100,000 a month, and you decide that you are an elite level saleswoman, that's what you believe about yourself. Now you got to get into the energy of that. What does an elite level saleswoman feel like? What does someone who calls in $100,000 a month feel like? What does someone who works 2 hours a day and then gets on a yacht or goes on a private jet to fly to some country feel like? Your job is to get into that feeling. You can do it through meditation, visualization. You can do it through masturbation. You can do it through sex. You can do it through singing. You can do it through music. You can do it through journaling. You can do it through prayer. There's lots of methods. It's the feeling. The feeling is what calls it in. The energy you're in is what calls in like energy. And then once you're in the feeling, now we've done 99% of the work. So congratulations. Congratulate yourself. You've done 99% of the hard work. And this is the part that people don't want to do. They don't want to look at themselves. They don't want to let go of their past. And they think they're too small. But you've overcome all of that. So now we're going to get into the 1%. Now we're going to take inspired and aligned actions. Now we're going to take the actions that the version of us that lives this dream life would take. Inspired, in spirit, in God consciousness, aligned with where you want to go, aligned with what you want. And when you start to take that action, what do you get from God? Reactions. You act, God reacts. You act, God reacts. It's a back and forth. And then lastly, because you've been in the cocoon this time, now you're about to break out that hoe. Step 7 is the breakout of the cocoon. This is when we expect to receive everything that we've asked for. We prepare to receive everything that we asked for, and we are open to receive it. We don't say expect the best and prepare for the worst. That's survival mode. You're no longer in survival mode. That was the caterpillar that died. You're in butterfly mode. You're in thrive mode. I expect the best and I prepare for the best. Because if I expect the best, but I prepare for the worst, I'm going to get the worst. We're not doing that. That's a survival mode tactic. It served us in the past when we were being chased by lions and shit, but now we're not. I expect the best and I prepare for the best. And I'm open to receive the best. Okay? Never knew what I had when I was 23. Look, I started this journey when I was 23, 5 years ago. And the woman that I am today, I don't know who that other girl was. 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27? Girl, 3 months ago, I don't know who that was. I have no idea who that lady was. If I saw her walking down the street, I would not know who she was. Right? Because that was my caterpillar self. And I no longer resonate with it at all. I've broken out of the cocoon. I've actually got some of that goo off. I'm starting to fly more freely now. So now I'm learning how to live in the in, right? So the course that I teach now, that I teach you guys, is thinking from the in, because that's where you have to start. But once you master that, now you got to start living in the in, because you ain't never lived like a butterfly. You're going to have to learn how to do that too. I've never been a butterfly. I've never had time wealth, mental wealth, social wealth, financial wealth, spiritual wealth, and I'm missing one. Hold on. I've never had time wealth, social wealth, spiritual wealth, financial wealth, physical wealth, and mental wealth. I've never had all of those. I've never lived this type of life before. So now I'm learning how to live in my dream life. Okay? Does that make sense? I expect the best. I expect it. Expect it. I drove a Ferrari and $5,000 shopping spree. Period. With every flower, plant, and tree to heal the world. Yes, a jet. Be what you want. I'm here for it. I love it. Emotionally intelligent. Did you just say you bought the did you say you got the posters? Was that you that said that? I think you did. Why won't let me flip my mirror? Hold on. Oh no, flip camera. Hold on. What in the world? Why is it playing music? Can y'all hear that? Oh my God, this is so ghetto. I don't know if you guys can hear this. Oh, I'm sure the people on the other phone can. Why is it playing music? I don't know how to turn it off either. Oh my God, hold on. The other phone can. Why is it playing music? I don't know how to turn it off either. Oh my God, hold on. Oh my God, hold on. Let me see. Okay, so this is broke. Okay, so I don't know why it's making that noise, so please bear with me. I can't turn it off, unfortunately, because my phone's acting crazy. But I said all that to say, if you stay here until the end, that's because you know that this is what you want, and you know that this is for you. Oh, I can turn it down like this, though. I can turn it down. Okay, perfect. Right? You know that this is for you, and you know this is what you need. You already have consumed enough. You've consumed enough information. You know enough about manifestation. You know enough about the laws. You know plenty. You don't need to get any more knowledge. What you need to do now is take all that knowledge that you have and you need to embody it. You need to actually apply it. And that's what we help you do. I don't just give you information. I give you the system to actually embody it. Because you can know everything that I'm saying. If you do not take it and live your life by it, it's not going to change your life. Okay, so we've been talking about the Thinking from the End program, right? It's a 6-month course that I teach to get you from caterpillar to butterfly. Your caterpillar self right now is scared to walk out on your faith. You have maybe a fear of failure, a fear of success, right? You got some trauma that you haven't released, lots of emotions that you've suppressed, right? You might be in a terrible relationship. You might be at a shitty job. You might have clients that are flying off the shelf, or you don't have any more clients. There's something that's going on right now in your life. And the only way for you to get to the new life where you are emotionally mature, wealthy, time, physical, spiritual, mental, social, and financial, where you have fulfilling relationships, where you are and know and feel your oneness with God, there has to be a death of who you are today and a rebirth as the butterfly. That's what I help you guys do. I help you get into your cocoon. I help you let go of the past, let go of all of the things that are holding you down, help you get into your cocoon, and you die to your present self. You're not going to physically die, but who you believe you are today has to die. You got to give it to God. You have to give your caterpillar life to God so God can take it, multiply it, press it down, shake it together, send it back to you as the butterfly life. And that's the part that people don't want to do because it's uncomfortable. You're stepping into the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. And you know clearly, but you do know clearly what will happen if you stay. If you stay in your caterpillar life, you know exactly what's going to happen. You can predict tomorrow. You can predict next week. You can predict the next 5 years. So why not do something different? Why not step out on the faith that God gave you to take God at his word? God said, ask, believe, receive. God said, whatever you ask, believing in my name, I'm going to do for you. God says, seek first the kingdom of God. A lot of y'all are thinking, oh, well, I've tried mentorship or program before. I tried it. I tried X, Y, and Z. Did you try it with God first? Was God at the forefront of that mentorship? Probably not. Because this is God-centered. We seek God first. You seek the within first. You seek the righteousness, the right consciousness first. And then the things are added unto you. We seek God first because that's what God told us to do. Okay, so this process, the life recipe that we went through, we go through that over the next 6 months so that I can get you into the cocoon, help you release everything that no longer serves you, and help you be reborn into the butterfly. Okay, so 6 months together, there's 24 weeks. You have 24 live sessions, and you also have the community. If you want to be around other caterpillars that are becoming butterflies, that are in their cocoons, so that you can have the support system you need, you have that as well. But because I believe that teamwork makes the dream work, and that my dream is to have millions, if not billions, of you guys in this school, I will pay you to help me build the school. So any student in the Thinking from the End program, any student of the Great School of Life has the ability to bring in commission. That means because you believed in yourself enough and you believed in me and God enough to invest in yourself through me, I give you the ability to bring in people into the school, and I will pay you 20% of their commission or their tuition as a thank you. Okay. Now, if you are interested in high ticket sales, this is a beautiful way for you to get into high ticket sales. One, because we pay double the industry standard, right? The industry standard is 10%. We pay 20%, right? But why this is better, the best option for you if you do want to get into high ticket sales is because you are going to go through the transformation that you need to actually sustain that money. Because if you're working with the Great School of Life, let's say you're calling in 5 figures a month. Let's say you're bringing in $15,000 a month. If you are the same person you've always been, the end of the month, your bank account going to say the same thing. $0. You're still going to be in debt. You're still going to have X, Y, and Z. So it's not you can call the money in, but if you have not created the space to hold it, if you have not become the person that would naturally sustain it, it will leave you. So my job is to make sure that you have the internal transformation first, starting, and then let's give you the sales skills. Let's give you a way to bring in income that helps you help others, because that's what you really want to do. You want to be helpful, helps you help others, and, put a nice chunk of change in your pocket. God told me to bring in 10,000 students. That means that I will be paying out $40 million in commission. Now, I don't know who's going to get the $40 million, but you can, okay? So, I said all that to say, if you were on this call and you're still with me, it's because this is the sign for you to step out. This is the sign for you to step out on that faith. This is the same faith that I stepped out on 5 years ago. It's the same faith that I stepped out on when I had my son and became a full-time entrepreneur in January 2024. This is the same faith that got me through days where I had $0 in my bank account. Same faith that got me through selling my car. Same faith that got me through $12.61 in my account. Same faith that got me through people suing me. Same faith that got me through an eviction. This is the same faith, okay? So, if you are committed to creating the life of your dreams and you want to bring in income while you do so, you can click the link in my bio. You can submit an application to join Thinking from the End and book a call with a success advisor. If you're not able to book a call, it might be because the time slots are booked up, but I will see your application come in and I will reach out to you to get it scheduled. Outside of that, if you do submit your application and you see that Thinking from the End is not the best for you, there is another option. So please submit the application regardless, and understand that you don't need the money until you make a decision. And also understand that God already knew how much money you needed before you even ask. Before you even ask God for the money, He already knows how much you need. So that's not a concern of yours. Do you want it? And are you willing to be and do what's required to have it? That's all you need to ask yourself. Do I want it? Do I want my dream life? Do I want to become the butterfly? Do I want to have this opportunity to bring in income by talking about my experience? Yes, great. And then am I willing to be and do what's required? Are you willing to die to who you are today and step into your butterfly life? Yes, the decision is made. Now you can create the plan of how you would want to bring the money in and let God course correct you. Okay, so I love you all. Let me know how I can support you. I will be back. What's today? Thursday. I will be back on Tuesday for another one of these lives, Tuesday evening. But I will be back on Monday to do a Get Ready With Me live. I typically do Get Ready With Me on Monday and Wednesday. Hold on. That's the devil trying to block your message, but we hear you. I'm trying. Ain't it? Always trying to mess it up. And it ain't gonna matter because I'm a thug. No, I'm not a thug, but I'm a G. I'm not a G. I'm actually just persistent. I'm just resilient. I will do it. Doesn't matter. They've been trying to break me. You can't break a chosen one. God chose me for this specific experience. I wasn't even supposed to be born. They told my parents they couldn't have kids. So you best believe I'm going to use this life like it's the only one I got. Okay? So if you have any questions, reach out to me. Send me a DM. Other than that, click the link in my bio, submit an application, reach out to me, let me know how I can support you. Like I said, this is my life's mission, right? Is to wake y'all up, is to remind you of your power and help you step into it, to give you a step-by-step process to get there. And I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. So regardless of if you join today or if you join us in 50 years, I'm going to be here, okay? But do not allow it to take you that long. Please act like this is the first and last day of your life. Please stop acting like tomorrow is promised. You know God can snatch you right now. Like, get off the live, snatch, soul, gone. Stop acting like you have tomorrow. Stop acting like you got 2 weeks. Stop acting like you have 6 months. Because the reality is God could take you right now. So use this day as if it's your last, your first and your last. The first day of your life and the last day. That's how I live every single day. To the fullest. Okay? So I love you all. I will see you guys on, Thursday? Or Tuesday. And we'll take it from there. All right, my babies. I will see you guys.